Today is Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Welcome to the Survivor Fans Podcast. I'm Joanne.
And I'm Stacy.
And this is our recap of Survivor 41, Week 8.
This episode was entitled? This episode was titled Betraydar. I stumbled over that.
Yep.
Sorry.
It happened.
So we find out that the new merged tribe is called Viakana. 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 It's night 14. We're back from that exciting tribal, and it's a stormy, stormy night. There's thunder, there's lightning, there's rain. Evvie's thanking Xander. Not quite sure why, but...
For saving her.
He didn't save her in the end, though.
Yeah, it was a very different story. She told it the next tribal rather than now. It's like, right now, it's like, oh, you saved me.
She's had some time to process it. Xander's telling us that he was he's celebrating his stunning performance, but Deshawn kind of soured it a little with that extra info, with that reveal on Evvie blowing his secret out.
And that he found out, all that extra information during tribal, maybe I shouldn't be putting too much faith in these girls.
That seems to be the theme after they get back. Liana's talking and saying that there's a new alliance for her now. No more Yase, she says. But she does split off and talk with Evvie. And it shows them commiserating with each other, I guess, but they're both essentially saying we're never going to get back to where we were. So that's the end of Yase.
I would have thought they knew that before trouble even, but okay.
I don't think it was out in the open between them.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, how quick Liana had dumped them.
Evvie's like, I don't know if I can trust her again. Of course you can't trust her again.
Okay, it's day 15. We're going to get a 2-day cycle here, 15 and 16, with this week's episode. And it's time for Evvie to go out and meet and greet and try to win people over.
Be awkward.
She's making the rounds. Deshawn didn't look receptive at all. He wasn't. he just wasn't buying it, and you could see it in his face. He was not doing a good job of reassuring her in any way.
He should have been playing Shan's tune in his head. Just hearing blah, 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 blah.
I like that Evvie called it her relationship recovery tour. She described it as awkward, and we were treated to many awkward scenes. Yes.
Well, I want to know why they showed us Deshawn saying that he will not work with any of the three. He wants to pick them off 1, 2, 3. So I thought, did they show us that just because he said it, or is that something leading up to he is going to work with somebody down the road?
But that was only natural to think that would be how it played out. I think, we could certainly...
I'm always looking for hidden clues.
Okay. Shan was kind of rubbing it in a little when she was talking to her. She said, I thought Yase was tight. She knew Yase wasn't tight. She'd been working Liana that whole time to make sure they weren't tight. She used every opportunity to turn it against them.
They weren't tight since you showed up, for sure. All right, we go to the reward challenge,
where we find Probst hiding an advantage. We've seen this hidden advantage out there on the water challenges before.
Yep, made a point to show us, is here.
Not only show us, but to say that this one's for smart players who are always looking. So what would that, I guess, potentially say if someone didn't find it?
Exactly what Jeff said, a missed opportunity.
All right, they're going to divide up into 2 teams of 5, and one person's going to have to sit out again, so they draw the rocks.
What is
Poor Erika.
Didn't she draw last? So it just ended up being the last one in the bag?
Yeah, she was right down towards the end. I don't remember if she was exactly the last one.
I believe she was on the end again.
Yeah.
Seems like she's
It was
always
funny.
on the end.
I don't want to do this. I hate this. Here, have a gray rock. Okay, so they're going to have to leap off a ramp, and the first two people are going to have to die down and release puzzle pieces and drag them to the boat. And then when they get everybody in the boat, they unhook the boat and they pull themselves up to the final platform and solve one of those stacking pyramid puzzles.
But before they do that, Xander tells Jeff, I will sit out and let her play. She deserves to eat.
Mm-hmm. So it did look like a pretty smart play, even though he was passing up on the grilled cheese sandwiches that we just heard that they were going to get.
Well, he hasn't got to eat a lot either, has he?
Mm-mm.
So, but I guess he may be foraging food that the people don't know about. So
It seemed like he definitely had a plan all along. I think that's what gets revealed here as this, not only as the challenge plays out, but after they get back to camp, it's even clearer that that was what he had intended. So, yeah, he must be managing the hunger pretty well.
well, and like he said when they came back, you know, sometimes when you are, even if you're stuck with the losers, there's a bond that happens there, whether it's with the winners or losers. And sometimes you can make some headway in the game that way. Okay, so for the yellow tribe, we have Heather, Liana, Tiffany, Naseer, and is that all?
Need
Did I
5.
miss? I know, but who did I miss?
Shan? No, that's the other tribe. Sorry.
No, that was that tribe. You're right. It was Shan. You're right. You were right the first time. It was Shan. Okay. Sorry about that. And the other tribe was Deshawn, Danny, Evvie, Ricard, and Erika. So did you have a thought about which tribe you thought was going to win?
No, I don't guess so. I wasn't leaning one way because there's a puzzle. I didn't know how it would play out.
Yeah.
I mean, it was good to see Erika be in for a puzzle. She's one of the best puzzle solvers that we've seen up to this point. So, and you know, there wasn't any reason to think that there was anybody who would necessarily be better than her.
Yeah. And
so it was a surprisingly close challenge with the physical elements. The Liana and Xander, not Xander, Liana and Ricard went first, and Liana was a little faster, but they all ended up there about the same time. Blue might have had a little time, maybe a second or two.
No, the yellow got there first.
Mm-hmm.
The other boat was a little bit behind them.
They didn't know that Evvie was a ringer, though, and she didn't share that. So they walk them through the puzzle and show them the different stages, and so that they can ask questions and all that. So she held back that whole time because she was the one that was most wiped out from doing the physical component. She went last for her team, and then she walked up there and solved it in 4 seconds. Erika, stand this up. I'll stand this up. We'll put this here, that there, and we're done. And she tells Probe she practiced it at home.
Even the other people were like, wow.
Built a little beads version of it, she said, after seeing it in a previous season. And so she was totally ready for that.
And Jeff took that opportunity to talk to the youngsters.
That's how you do it.
Play.
Yep.
That's how you do it.
Absolutely. And we are treated to Xander missing the advantage, and then Probst confirms that.
Well, at least he was looking. He was looking around.
Was, yeah. So he did have a plan, and in the sense that he thought there might be an advantage. So he took that opportunity to try to get it.
The thing is that he was trying to be discreet, I think, and because it was so small. He probably expected it to be
a
something,
pouch,
a pouch wrapped in, and be bigger with the string like it's been being, and it wasn't.
Not the tiny scrolls they were getting in tree mail, yeah.
So I think that's why he didn't notice it.
That, and he didn't do a thorough search. He just did the best he could sitting there trying to not be overly obvious about what he was doing. In any case, he didn't find it, so according to Probst, he is not smart. And he's not paying attention and looking for things.
He didn't say he wasn't smart. He just said a missed opportunity.
Okay, back at camp, those look like some tasty sandwiches,
grilled cheese and chips.
great big bowl of potato chips.
Oh my goodness! One of those people could have devoured that bowl of chips.
Some
in
drinks, yes.
2 seconds after having
Yep.
no food.
I like Tiffany. She's like, these teams were almost the same. We got the same result. When am I ever going to get to eat?
I'm 47 years old. Feed me.
Yeah, that was exactly.
Okay, well, she got her wish. They're going to feed her now.
Toddler Tiffany, yes.
Toddler Tiffany. Okay, Shan. I was really surprised to see Shan and Liana break down and cry like that.
Do you think it was sincere
Yeah.
with Shan?
Yeah, I do.
I thought it was
I think
too,
she
but I
was
just
very upset.
I thought I would check because
No, I don't
wouldn't
think
put
she
it
was putting it on at all.
wouldn't put it past her to fake all that either. So
But to what
and Xander
point?
didn't want to see him sad.
Even Xander looked like he might have been crying too, but they were. I could see her doing that from the hunger.
It solidified her resolve. She tells us we're gonna get rid of Evvie.
Well, and
We
it's
just gotta pitch Xander on it.
as Jeff pointed out, it really is kind of insult to injury to get back and smell the food.
Yeah, they did
It's
it on
one
purpose.
thing if you don't smell it, but if you have to smell it, that makes it harder.
And of course, he was highlighting the fact that they were starving them on purpose. So
Yeah.
Xander, this is where we get that confessional from Xander that you were alluding to, where he said he wanted to sit out because he needed some allies, and the losers was a good place to find some allies.
Well, and Shan tells us that her cry, I think she felt like it showed too much weakness. So she had to tell us that, it was good for her, it was cleansing, and now she's ready to move on.
Yeah, ready to get rid of Evvie.
Get rid of all that.
And Liana has to reconsider her plan because now Xander might be an ally.
And Naseer, does he cry? No, he doesn't cry.
Oh,
He's like, I'm going to go get us some food.
time for sandwiches when I get home. That's what you want to hear, too. That's a Survivor player right there.
Yeah, but what he said was, my daughter will fix me sandwiches when I get home.
For now, he's getting some,
Okay.
what we're told is ripe papaya.
Yeah.
He didn't get them all. He just grabbed 3.
I wondered about that. We saw clearly there was 4. Why
Oh,
wouldn't he get all 4?
There's actually more in the tree behind that one. Did you see that?
No, but there was 4 right there that he was working on. I
Well,
thought,
maybe,
did he save one for himself?
maybe,
Or did he eat one?
or maybe 3 papayas plenty.
Okay, if you say so.
We get to see a really interesting moment between Shan and Ricard again when they come back from their reward feast, and Ricard thinks he's entitled to some papaya too. Shan tells us he's my number 1, so she's still thinking about him that
Ricard?
way.
Really? You are not entitled to anything. You ate sandwiches.
What
and
did you think about
chips.
what he said? I never saw this divide from home, but you're not supposed to go eat at reward and come back and eat at camp.
Well, that makes me think he didn't really watch.
That makes me think he's a liar. I think you knew that exactly.
It's like, it might feel different when it's you.
Yeah.
And not somebody else on your TV screen.
Well, and it's just in his nature to go up and grab a piece of food like that. So
And yes, he's correct. Any food that's on the island, but he didn't help collect it. And he did just eat. So that was kind of blatant.
it was tactless
Yeah.
and selfish. Even Danny was even surprised. Did you see that? Danny asked him, "Did you eat some of that over there? Did you
Like,
really do that?"
Really, dude? Yes, it was very tactless, as you say. We'll leave it there.
And Ricard ends up being a little concerned that Shan just might be resentful. You think?
Yep, yep.
Okay, immunity challenge, day 16. Got to balance on those toes with a block on your head.
Oh, you have an option. You don't have to do it.
There's a temptation. An individual can sit out and earn an individual portion of rice, or a group.
I don't know if I would have called that a temptation. A temptation is, do you want this peanut butter and chocolate? right now.
Or this hamburger, or this pizza.
Yeah. That's a temptation.
Yeah.
Not, here's an extra serving
But
of
you know,
rice.
it's the monster. It's harder in 41.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. It's a single portion of rice, and he totally owns starving them to see how they'll do and to see how they'll handle these kind of temptations.
Well, Shan's ready to go for it because she's still hungry. So she's wanting some rice.
So she negotiated a little better than Angelina. Got him down from 7 to 5.
I thought they could have pushed him a little more.
Well, so did Xander. Again,
That's right.
to his credit,
He did.
He had some good moments this episode for sure. He didn't find that advantage, but yeah, Xander tried again, and Probst was open to it because of the great starvation experiment that he himself is running.
Now, they didn't show Shan say anything else to Ricard because she was trying to get him to step up and he wouldn't.
Right.
So, but he finally did. So,
When Xander
do you
did.
think she said
Yeah.
something else to him or gave him a look or he just did it on his own?
I don't know.
Because he wasn't wanting to do it.
Nope, he wanted to compete. He thought that with his, what was it, Sydney told us he was a dancer, which was part of why
yeah.
that she thought that he did so well on that last challenge. I bet he was thinking, I've had some experience being on my toes, so I might could win this. So yeah, that probably was quite a struggle that he went through mentally, deciding not to.
Well, but, for enough rice for everyone for 3 days, that is pretty good. If you can feed somebody for 3 days.
When you got nothing, and if you can manage it, you can stretch it beyond that.
I was more surprised, I think, that Danny or Deshawn weren't even talking about it.
Nope, wasn't even a consideration, was it?
Nope. Well, Deshawn should have. He should have considered.
That was. He's in the running for one of the
2 seconds.
worst performances.
2 seconds.
Granted, Crystal Cox still is the winner from Survivor
That was a
Gabon.
half a second.
Yeah, I don't think she got a full second, right?
But you counted 1/1000, two,
and then the block
he
was
dropped.
down for him, and then Erika right after.
And then Tiffany.
Tiffany was out. It was within 4 seconds, so there were 3 of them out for the ones that did choose to do the challenge.
Then Danny lasted for a little while, and they were cheering Liana on, but then...
Yeah, it was like as soon as
went out,
Xander
too.
said, "You got it, Liana," she dropped. So this was just, I was stunned. How in the world did it end up being a showdown between Heather and Evvie? And I didn't even know Heather was doing the challenge. How is she still there?
Well, at least you remember her.
Yeah.
She's been seen the last couple of episodes, so at least we remembered who she was.
Yeah, she's basically featured, comparatively
There you
speaking,
go.
in this episode with her coverage for the whole season. And
I thought she was about to win it.
Yeah.
Now, you had Evvie going home tonight.
Yes.
I did not, so I was cheering for Evvie to
quite
win.
loudly, I want to add. Quite
Okay.
loudly. Yes.
Quite loudly, I might have.
Vociferously.
I might
and
have
with
done
a high
woo-hoo
frequency.
or two.
It's more like a train. Go, 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 go.
Well, okay. My competitive nature.
Mm-hmm.
But, because I knew I didn't have a chance of getting a point if she didn't.
She didn't win,
So-
yes. Yep.
Okay, well, we'll move on from that. Evvie
So-
does win.
Yeah, she ends up winning. So surprise. If someone had asked me to bet money, I would have bet money that she would not win an individual immunity. Now, granted, Probe said this is the shortest this challenge has ever gone. It was done in under 4 minutes. So it wasn't that much of a physical feat, but
What did he say? The record was an hour and 20?
yeah,
or
hour
something?
25 by Spencer. Yeah. So yeah,
Oh,
and
man.
Evvie got it at 4 minutes. We don't know how far she could have gone, but
Oh, she couldn't have gone much further.
longer, yeah.
Her whole body was shaking.
yes.
I thought Heather was going to beat her.
But she is thrilled. They give her a little confessional after that, and she said that out there she's got no support. She's used to having support back home, but she has somehow managed to foil their plans again. She's ecstatic. Evvie is happy. Back at camp for Viakana.
Liana wants Xander to play the idol and for Tiffany to go home.
So she's saying she wants to split the
Want to
boat.
do a split vote, yeah.
Force his idol, and then get Tiffany out. Okay.
And
makes
Naseer's
sense.
feeling safe because he knows he can trust Shan and Ricard.
Yep. And Danny, who's there too. Yep.
But Danny and Deshawn want to split the vote.
Yeah, after
How did
Naseer
that
walks
get
off.
Yeah. How did that get to Tiffany and Naseer? It was like, what? I really thought he was with them, but...
Well, I think Danny likes Xander more than he likes Naseer. I think it probably just comes down to that.
Well, but that is not what Shan wants.
No. And so my new USB begins a process of undermining her whole game. This was disheartening. She wasn't having any of it. She says Xander is the threat. We need to get rid of Yase. We can take care of Naseer later.
Well, she said, but he's loyal. And I don't blame Danny or Deshawn for loyal to who.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he's noticing he's very loyal to you and Ricard, but not so much to me and Deshawn.
And Deshawn recognizes he's having a problem, that she's not really up for any discussion with him.
Yeah, she is not listening to him. So then she tells us how she has to go soothe him so he feels heard.
Mm-hmm. I will listen to you, she says. She said the right thing. I don't think it came off
No, I didn't.
right. She didn't have her tone right when she did it, and she
You're
was
learning. It's all in the tone.
through the gritted teeth.
Well, and Heather didn't like Shan telling everyone what to do either. Wasn't just Deshawn.
This is certainly another point where I started worrying about my new USB choice.
Well,
she's not managing any of this well, and if Heather is gonna rattle her world, it doesn't bode well for her handling the stress that just intensifies through the rest of the game. What's going on, Shan? You had a handle on most of this, and now first Deshawn, and
hungry,
now Heather,
and tired, and emotional, and all of those things.
She didn't seem to have any answer for Heather.
Yeah,
The most ineffective player in the game to this point.
And Heather didn't like her name being passed around.
Who would?
Well, of
Naseer
course.
didn't. That's why they were trying to roll it to her.
Ended really weird, and then they came back to tribal council, and I thought
they're painting a picture.
Have no idea.
Yes.
Who's going home, which is what they
purpose.
wanted.
Yeah.
But usually I at least have some idea. And I was thinking, I don't know.
Probe says it's time to check in, see how they're doing with the starving test that he set up for them.
Food's been a big issue the last few days, Jeff tells us.
And Shan says that in her pastoral heart, she's just reminding him she is a pastor after all. She cares and loves about each and every one of them. But she'd really like to be able to eat.
I want you all to eat. I just want you all out of this game. And me to be the last woman standing. Yeah. Of course. Otherwise, why bother to play?
Naseer says, when it's for the tribe, it just tugs at my heartstrings. Now, do you think he's sincere, or is he acting the way...
I could have done well in that challenge.
Or is he acting like Shan was?
I don't know.
I think he was being sincere.
I don't know about Naseer and how sincere he is.
Yeah.
I can't tell about him. It's hard. He's hard to read for me.
They don't show you enough. I think they don't show you enough because he's easy to read, and so by keeping that from us, because there was like little snippets early on where he was saying, "Now quickly get food ready, that I've started the fire." You know, those kind of demands or expectations. Yes, I would like to eat in 1 minute. So wow. I think they're hiding some of that. But I think he was sincere in terms of wanting to help and take care of
Xander took the opportunity to say that he wanted to show his tribe that he was willing to give up immunity for them. And I thought, I think that's good to do, but do I think it bought him any points? No. Do
Just
you?
as many as it did for Angelina.
Yeah. It's like, I don't think so. Doesn't usually work that way. Okay.
I like that he actually had another motive and that there was some forethought, and he wanted to get some time with the losers because that seemed like a more open door.
He's playing. Okay, and Danny admits, I'm not sure if I'm safe.
Yeah, they did not know what to think after they got hit so hard by that play that Evvie and Xander pulled off last time.
I thought Danny and Deshawn would feel very confident that they weren't going out and that they might even step out of the challenge, but neither one of them budged. No.
Well, I think Shan did a little bit to undermine that, but yeah. And Evvie tells us that not a single person had talked to her that day about how to vote.
About anything.
Yeah.
Who to vote, how to vote, nothing, not talking to me. And Danny talks about all three of them going to everyone, but how do you know if that's even real or not? They could still be plotting together. So.
They did such a good job last time, we can't trust them for anything.
That's when Evvie popped up and said, I was only saved because Sydney played her shot in the dark. That's the only reason I'm still here.
So she figured that out. Yeah, or somebody was working on all that.
Yeah.
In terms of how the votes played out.
She didn't feel that way right after, obviously, or she wouldn't have thanked Xander. But he did help, he did help. But he didn't play the idol. But okay, Jeff says very slowly, time to vote. And then Heather starts chattering with, who is she talking
to? She leaned over to whisper to Tiffany.
Yeah, Tiffany.
And then pretends like she didn't understand. Can we still talk?
Well, I thought that meant we could talk. It's time to vote. You thought that meant you could talk?
She's that befuddled and confused.
Where were you?
And then she tells Tiffany, trust me.
Yeah, trust me, stay here.
Yeah.
Don't want you to hear what I'm saying, but just trust me.
I'm going to pull something off here.
Stay here.
Were you surprised at her gumption to get up and try to make something work?
Yeah, we hadn't seen that much of her, so sure. I don't know what she's capable of doing. I mean, we saw a little bit of her in that one video clip, when she was talking about setting Sydney up, telling lies about dreams she was having that she wasn't having, just to yank her chain. But that's really about all.
I wonder if there was some basis for this and they didn't show it, because it seemed so out of left field. Nobody was prepared to huddle up and whisper with her, and they didn't understand what the motivation for the plan was.
Well, nobody jumped right up right away. I think that everybody thought they were pretty solid, but as it went on,
it undermined that as she talked to more people. It's because first she went to Erika to ask her. So Heather made up her mind that she was going to try to save Tiffany, basically. That's what this was about, right? That's why she's like, stay here, I'm going to go do something, trust me. And so she's trying to flip it onto Naseer, she tells Erika. So she's basically
for Tiffany.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't in the moment she's trying to do something else.
I hear you.
Let's not jump to the result yet. Let's just think about how it played out.
Okay. Play it out.
Okay. I got it. I got everything I need from your tone. Anyway, so she makes a last-ditch effort to save Tiffany, but it ends up confusing everyone, and it actually fractures Deshawn and Shan even further because
he walked up and tried to say something, and she kind of
shut him down again. Yep. So he's like, "Okay, sure, we'll just vote that way. Fine, I'm good."
Well, here's where I think
and then she
your girl
overplayed it.
Really went wrong. It's when she then tried to. He's like, okay, no, she turned to the others and said, he's not with us. And he said, no, I am. I got it. Let's go.
Yep.
And she goes down and says, no. And we have to discuss this. And then she stood up and said, I don't have time to baby you. No,
Yeah.
talk about tone.
Definitely lost some points there, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yep.
No, those are inflammatory words.
Definite clash.
That was not good, Shan. Bad move on your part.
So she's lost her cool again at this point. Ricard kept needling Xander. You better play your idol just in case. Xander, just go ahead and play your idol. I think you need it.
I was thinking, no, Xander, don't play your idol. I have you going home. I don't think that's going to happen, but don't play your idol.
Yeah.
Just because Ricard wants you to is reason enough not to play.
Well, Shan may have lost her cool. She's not managing her interpersonal relationships well, but she still knows how to pander to Jeff, doesn't she?
She does.
It's season 41. Drop the 4, keep the 1. She echoes back what he had said before again.
And he ate it up.
And this is a different caliber of game, which, yes, he lapped that up. He loves that. But I don't think it's more difficult. There's other seasons that are much more difficult. There's other seasons where people have starved. So, and the caliber of gameplay isn't the highest it's ever been. None of these things are true, but I understand they need to celebrate the season that they're in the moment.
There's seasons that they didn't have any food around. They didn't have any food in Africa.
Do you remember, I think we probably talked about it before, but when we went to the wild animal park and stayed overnight, they called it the Roar and Snore.
The Roar and Snore.
Do you remember the big cats when they got active?
Oh, yeah.
And when the lion was roaring and you didn't just hear it, you felt it in your bones when the lion was roaring.
Yeah. And we were in tents.
Yes. But
not that far away.
Yeah, so it was very loud. But my point is, it's nothing like Survivor Africa, where they were in a boma.
Yes.
And the lions were just outside of the boma, where the boma is just a really high bunch of thorns, a thorn wall that they've constructed. And the lions are around the boma there where they are. And they had to keep 2 of them awake at a time all through the night.
Keep the fire up to keep them out.
Exactly. So for these folks to say that this is the toughest one just tells me they don't know any of their Survivor history. There's nothing. And that was what I think Lex Vandenberg came home with 4 different parasites that took over a year plus to clear out of his body once he got back to the States.
I thought it was over 2 years.
Yeah, it might have been. And because they were having to drink this just awful water that the elephants pooped in. Yep. It was...
Well, I always think of that. These people are given water. They don't have to go fetch water. They don't have to boil the water constantly all day long. And gather that much firewood to keep the water boiling all day long so they can hydrate enough. Now, I'm not discounting that they're starving out there. I'm not.
Right.
But they do have something, and even, fresh something. And they're not having to go over and look at the poopy water and then get water out of there.
And then get terrorized by lions all night and not be able to sleep.
No, that's a whole nother... That's no, I'm done. Get me out of here.
It's a primal thing, too. I've had that. I can think of at least 3 occasions where I've had that reaction, with those lions roaring and you feeling it, and then the roar is like shaking your insides, and you're thinking, wow, this thing is so big and powerful that I wouldn't stand a chance. There's no way I could fight it. And then when we were in Maui, and that whale came up beside and then went under the boat.
Oh, yeah.
And it was bigger than the boat.
Bigger than the boat, yeah.
And so there was no sounds other than everybody was just going crazy trying to see it.
And it was going back and forth under the boat.
Yeah, but it had that kind of shake you to your core feeling. At least it did on me. No, it's like, this thing is so much... This is alive, and it's so much bigger than the boat that we're in. We are so insignificant. And then the third time, I got caught in a riptide. And it's just those kinds of moments where you're like, whoa, things are... I am not in control. Yeah, I am not in control. Things could go way bad south if I don't keep my cool.
Very quickly.
Yeah, so all that So for these people to be talking about how hard it is for them, and I think about what it must have been like for the Survivor Africa folks, there's just no way that this compares. Not even remotely.
Well, if you're suffering, you're suffering. And I think that's basically what they're,
Yes.
Yeah. I'm suffering.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I can think about right now is I am suffering.
Yep.
I'm hungry. I'm starving.
I've never fasted that long, so I don't know what that's like in terms of
You've gone about 7 days.
That's the most I've ever done. Yeah.
But with nothing, not
right, just a water fast,
no
water
fruit,
and coffee.
No nothing.
Yeah. And so you can manage that in your body, and if you have fat stores, then your body's actually using that, and several of these people have some reserves that they're working on. But if you haven't been through that before, it can be really hard on your mind.
Okay, back to the vote.
Yes.
Got way away from the vote.
Yeah, well...
Were you surprised to see that many names come up? I'm like, wait a minute, what?
I guess no, because of the confusion that Heather caused.
Xander, Naseer, and Tiffany?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
How many did Tiffany end up getting? They didn't show them all, right? They only showed 4?
There were
5?
There were...
5, 6. There were 6
total, right? They showed 5, but she got 6 when they showed who voted, because Erika... let's see, Ricard, Shan, Erika, Liana, Deshawn, and Heather all voted Tiffany. Xander voted for Naseer.
Naseer voted for Xander.
Naseer and Danny voted for Xander.
Yeah.
And Evvie and Tiffany voted for Heather.
Interesting. So Tiffany turned around and voted for the person who was probably trying to save her.
Well, I think that's probably what Shan, when she called Evvie over and Tiffany went too.
Yeah.
I think she said vote Heather, didn't she?
Well, she was trying to put that plan in action, so that's what they heard.
It's like, yeah, you too.
We're fine.
We can't trust you with the real vote, so vote Heather.
Right.
And they did.
Yep, but Tiffany ends up voted out, and she is the first member of our jury. And so if you had Tiffany going this week, you get an extra point. So there's 2 points instead of just the 1.
But after the vote, Xander did turn to Shan and Ricard and say, thank you guys. So is he giving them some credit that he didn't go home or something?
Mm-hmm. I guess. Okay. Even if you don't believe it, it's probably worth doing. It might buy you some extra information or something to your benefit.
Absolutely.
So what did you think of the episode as a whole?
Oh, it was good. A lot of back and forth, and it's like I'm still not certain if they have lines completely drawn or not. There still seem to be
Shan seemed to be working hard at erasing some lines this week, is what I would say, being someone who just chose her to win it all.
Well, the one thing she did say, even though she was angry at Ricard, she said he was still her number 1.
Yeah.
I thought, ooh, well, you better not let Liana hear that.
Right. And I think she's probably smart enough to keep that from happening.
Well,
as long as she's on guard.
Well, if she doesn't
seems to be breaking down a little.
She doesn't get any more food, she might not.
Mm-hmm.
She might not be in a while.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good one, but not as good as the last one, obviously, because of all the fireworks like they were talking about. But yeah, this one was good. And if you're gonna watch the Yase 3 go down 1, 2, 3 the way Deshawn said he wanted, then I guess this was an entertaining way to get the first one done.
And not one of the idols played or the extra votes.
Right. No need.
That's like, man. And, I mean, Ricard gave it his best shot to get one flushed, but that didn't work.
I know. I wish they would let Xander talk about what he thinks about Ricard. I want to hear that. I want to know why he ignored him so hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, next on Survivor. Naseer talking to Heather says, you threw my name under the bus.
Not you threw me, but you threw my name.
You threw my name under the bus.
Yeah, that was good. I like that. And Xander's in the background watching, so he tells us in a cut to a confessional there that he's pretty happy that they're fighting.
Yeah, that's perfect. Let them fight with each other. And
I didn't know what to make of the next one where Shan's talking to Ricard and she says, I'll cast an extra vote. And he says no.
I will cast the extra vote with the emphasis and the tone on I.
And the gesture.
Yes.
Well,
there was
where
a
she's like
gesture
snapping
as well.
at him, right? Or she's closing her hand.
He didn't like it a bit.
Nope. It has to be her way. It has to be her way all the time, he says in a confessional.
Yep. Then she's talking about, why am I bending backwards for him? And, So,
Deshawn, yeah.
Well, we don't know if she's talking about Ricard or Deshawn.
It's after tribal. It's dark, so I'm thinking it's after this tribal. That's this next sequence of shots that we get. And then you see Deshawn saying that she's not making sense.
Well,
and that
but
she's
he's
starting
talking
to aggravate him.
He's talking to Liana and
Naseer.
Erika.
Naseer's there.
Is he?
I didn't see part of it. Yeah, when he walks off and says, I'm looking for a new team, y'all, Liana and Naseer are there.
Well, so
Evvie's
it looks
happy.
like our USBs aren't liking each
dueling.
other much.
Yeah.
They're fighting each
Evvie's
other.
happy. She tells the camera that there's fireworks and things are going to shake up, she thinks.
Well, she should be happy, Xander, too.
Well,
There's fighting among.
She hopes. Otherwise, she's just the next.
Yeah.
And then him.
She may continue being the next. Though I almost think, well, she did win the challenge. So
Heather really boogered that up.
could be more.
They could have flushed an idol. And I think she derailed that process.
I don't know. I'm still not quite sure what exactly she was really trying to do.
I think she was
just
trying
be
to protect
noticed.
Tiffany.
Why?
Or, yeah, she could have Probst
Why would she?
make the big play Idas.
Yeah, I'm not sure she didn't just want to force some airtime.
Attention.
Or something.
All right, how about
I
a
don't know.
JSFL update? How did things
All
pan
right.
out this week?
Well, congratulations to Jean N from Arkansas. She is in first place with 37 points. With 29 people gained 2 points for the first on jury for Tiffany.
Good on you.
93 people lost a safe point, and 23 USBs were lost.
Ow.
I'll read those in a few minutes when I finish this. As for the side challengers, congratulations, Rebecca takes over first place.
Wow.
With 34 points. With 33, we have Cold Mike and Jeremiah. 32, Michael and Stacy. 31, Parker. 30, Jay Kindred. 29, Justin and Randy. And 24 for Drew.
Well, he is in double digits. I thought he was making that up.
No, he was at 20 when he said that. Okay, now.
How'd the new
here's
USBs shake out?
After the merge, Deshawn is in the lead with 51. He had 40 originally.
Okay, so he gained 11.
Yeah, Chantel had 17 and now has 49
Wow,
people.
big gains there. Okay.
Tiffany had 6.
You bunch of copycats.
And then she now has 26 people that lost points for her.
that
Erika,
hurts, huh? That's so.
Yeah.
20 people just switched to Tiffany
Yep.
and got popped.
Yes. They're like, thank you for
That's
pointing that out again.
Stinger.
Okay. For Erika, she had 32, now has 25.
Bye-bye.
Ricard had 25, now has 24. Xander had 12, now he's got 21. Interesting. Danny had 19, and he has 21. Evvie had 11, now she's got 16. Naseer had 13, now he has 14. Liana had 7, she now has 9. And Heather had 9, and now has 2.
Okay. All right. Well, that's
the
where we are.
rundown for the new USBs. Or the old ones. Anyway, the totals.
So what's going to happen? Are they going to pick Evvie off? Is she going to win another immunity? They got to target Evvie and Xander again. That seems most likely. As long as Shan doesn't completely self-destruct.
If they can keep it together long enough, but as she talks to Deshawn, continue talking to, that's kind of what I would consider talking down to him. That's not going to fly. Now, she's very good at soothing things over, so maybe she can, but, I don't know if the third time's the charm. She's already tried that a couple times, and she blew it the last time by saying, I don't have time to baby you. Whoa, you don't say that to a guy or even a woman. You don't say that to anybody. It just doesn't fly. Anyway, I think that was a mistake, but will Deshawn let it slide?
She's going to go?
I was thinking...
Are they going to vote her out?
I was thinking this time, why don't you just vote her out then? You're mad at her, you're mad at her. Hey,
it's just really hard to pull that off in a tribal council. That's
she's
way
well,
too
no,
difficult.
I meant before tribal when they weren't happy with her for several people felt like she was telling them what to do. And
yeah,
but
you saw how effective that was. Heather waited until the absolute last minute, almost blew it.
Yeah. To
make her play in response to that.
She did wait to the last minute.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think Shan's still very much a danger because she does have a lot of people that truly trust and believe in her. Naseer completely seems to, from what we've seen. Maybe we haven't seen all of everything, but, and I don't know how Danny's feeling about her. We hadn't really heard what he thinks.
It really needs to be Deshawn, right? Deshawn or Danny are the ones that could pull off a mutiny on her, and then it leaves them, they don't know where. There's comfort in that alliance of 4. Otherwise, you have to rebuild.
Well, not if there's animosity, though.
Yeah, it's so hard for people when things are amped up the way they are at this stage in the game to bide their time to get rid of someone. And, of course, you don't want to get caught waiting too long so that they catch you.
Yep. And she might just be mad at anybody who got to eat.
I gotta think they're going to come back at Evvie again. The chances she's going to win immunity are pretty low. So
that's what you said last time.
Yeah, and I don't think Xander's going to go out of his way to save her.
No, I don't think he will.
So either she wins or she's gone. Evvie, that is.
She's the easy vote, if they want an easy vote. But for that same reason, she could end up hanging around till somebody needed her.
Yeah, exactly. This is where the shorter game comes into play. Because the difference between 2 days, 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days with being able to recover a relationship, like between Shan and Deshawn, 3 days, they might have time to let things cool down and reset. 2 days, maybe not so much.
Well, in some of the challenges,
especially not 1 day.
They had a challenge every day.
If they keep doing reward 1 day and then immunity the next.
Yeah. They don't have any days off like before. This is fast tracked. They don't have time to get the same amount of rest. They usually have a lot of downtime doing a 3-day cycle, but they're not doing 3-day cycles
to let things blow over. So
yeah, I think we have to
could stay heightened. Yeah, we need to.
We have to
remember
take
to factor
that into
account.
In.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, we're excited to hear what you thought about it. And we'd love to have you come join our listener feedback shows. You can call and leave a voicemail, 206-350-1547, toll free, 844-643-8737. You can record your own audio and attach it to an email or type it up, and we'll read it into the listener feedback show for you. That email is joanneandstacyshow@gmail.com. Whether you're calling in or recording or writing it up, keep it in that 3-minute range. We've been having just amazing having a lot of fun with listener feedback shows and a lot of participation. So if you can keep it in that 3-minute range, it helps fit everyone in and gives us time to process it and get it ready so that we can get it out there for you. The feedback's due noon Pacific time on Saturdays. We look forward to hearing your thoughts about everything that happened in week 8 and what you think we have to look forward to in the future. Anything else?
No. Good night, everybody.
Have a good one.